All right. Hello, everyone, to my, indoor carnivorous, not a greenhouse, but my indoor carnivorous growing area. So first up, obviously, we have our cephalotus here. As you can see, the cephalotus is doing exactly what I'd expect it to do. All the tissue cultured plants here are growing just exceptionally well. And you can see all the new growth, all the new pictures coming from the plant there in the middle. Again, that plant in the middle is from California Carnivorous. It's the Angies. And you can see the new shoots coming out all around. It's loving every bit of it. Again, this is under 8 lamps of T5 LED HO equivalent. I think these are 5 Kelvin, 5K, 5,000 Kelvin lamps, LED lamps. So just to kind of give you an idea of the color rendering of these LEDs. And I'm probably, there's the LED, the fixture itself is probably 2 feet above this. So yeah, I will clue you in on my goals for all this here in just a few. But there's the one cephalotus here. My other cephalotus. This one is from John. John's, what is it? John's Carnivorous Plants. The new traps are in the back, of course. The new traps that it put out didn't come out the front. I could turn this thing around, but as you'll see, my sundews are kind of making a mess here. But I am propagating this guy. I'm rooting him here so I can cut the main stem here so that I can propagate this. It's a bibulus. Filifolia. I do believe this is a bibulus filifolia, which is actually giving me, look guys, oh I can't, it's so hard to get pictures on these things. Oh, sticky. Flowers. It's got flowers. But I was told that it won't give me seed. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm probably going to include this on my tissue culture regime. But so yeah, oops. So there's the next cephalotus. Let me get you zoomed in there. For anyone that grows cephalotus, you probably already all know the number one main issue, at least that I find in growing cephalotus, is powdery mildew. Just these plants are notorious for getting powdery mildew, which is, let me see here, which is why I keep my 3-in-1 Earth's Alley here. The 3-in-1 spray, I've been using it for a couple years now on my cephalotus, and that stuff works fantastic on the powdery mildew. If you don't keep enough airflow going across these guys, you will find powdery mildew starting to creep up, which will cause these odd colors. Let me see if I can zoom in on that. See the top of that trap? Let me see if I can point to it here. See the top of this trap right here? Those colors happened from the powdery mildew that was on it. And I did have to cut a trap off the top because it was covered in powdery mildew. So a little bit of the Earth's Alley 3-in-1 spray takes care of that instantly, pretty much instantly. Let's see here, what do we got here? My multifida here, just coming back, just strong as ever. New shoots. Yeah, so luckily I saved this guy. There's that guy in the back just making a horrendous mess. These things are enormous. They're as big as my hand. This guy, which is the Marton's Dragon, I do believe is what that one is called. It's from California Carnivores, just growing like weed. Of course they all do. Another thing I want to point out here is my Drosophilum. Something interesting is going on with the Drosophilum here. Again, these guys are just loving the T5 8 lamps of LEDs up here. But the seed grown, these 3 outside seed grown plants are actually taller, growing taller than the one that's potted there in the middle. They're just destroying that guy in size. So I do believe, I firmly believe now that the Drosophilum plants just don't like to be disturbed. So these are all seeds that I've grown, but at the same time they're no different. So these guys didn't do any shipping, but that guy did. So I just think that these are just temperamental when it comes to how they're handled at the very beginning. But yeah, so there's the one shelf, I should say. This is my Cephalotus shelf, really, and my Drosophilum shelf. That is, these are all just under the 8 lamps of T5. So let me bring you to my other area of carnivorous plants. So what I have over here is my other rack of carnivorous plants. My newest addition. Yeah, that guy right there. I decided to get myself a Nepenthes. And believe it or not, the dang thing, it's growing. Let's see. I don't really have the right setup for it. These 2 traps, these 2 right here were the first 2 to go after it came in. This guy was already going south when it came in, but this new trap is growing. And I'm not sure if that is going to make me a new pitcher or not, but I do have a Nepenthes small tent getting set up to help maintain humidity. But I just spray it a couple times a day and just leave it be. It's underneath LED here. Of course, all my plants are under LED if they're not out in the greenhouse. Here is my multifida, which is a culture of the one up on the shelf. And there's the other one. These were water cultured, so cuttings really. Water cultured off of the parent plant. There's my Madagascar that I'm trying to desperately save. Rip the main plant out, and of course the roots grow back. The Venus flytrap seeds. My peltata here, just going strong as usual. And look who we have coming up next to the peltata. Believe it or not, when did these get? So these were sown March 13th of 24, and now it's October of 24. And look what's coming up. I'll be darned. There was 3 seeds in this pot, and there's going to be another seed over there, but that's the one that came up originally right off the bat. And this one just came up, oh gosh, last month, probably September. So it took that long for that one seed to germinate. So yeah, so it looks like I do have 2 of my peltatas here. These are my winter growing tuberous sundews. So there's my peltata, my rosulata here. Just spectacular colors coming in off my rosulatas from California Carnivorous. Thank you very much, Damon, for you guys and your awesome plants. I think I have 5 or so tubers that were in this one. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like all 4. I thought there was a 5th coming up. Well, I'm not sure. But yeah, I know I kind of disturbed this pot because I had gotten utricularia in it, and I didn't want it to overcrowd the tubers before the tubers came up. So that's the lowdown on my rosulatas here. And then I have my rupicola orange, which is just growing like a weed. That's what I love. I love seeing my sundews grow like a weed. And this one's actually starting to branch. Let me see if I can turn it around here for you guys. So it's starting to branch up, as you can see. I don't like to disturb my plants too much. I have the name of this somewhere. But yeah, so these are 2 leaf pullings off of this guy, my naiad. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm not a ping person. This is my only 2 pings that I have. 2 different kind of pings. But yeah, I'm not a ping person. A lot of people are, though. So that's this level here, and then down here I just have my Venus flytraps. Of course, I do not grow my seedlings out in the greenhouse over the first winter. I will germinate. I'll germinate Venus flytrap seeds year round, but the first year, if I'm approaching winter, these guys will not go out in the greenhouse this small. So there's no need to send them out for their dormancy. I'll catch it on the second year. So what else we got? Oh, my Stellidium seeds. Yeah, guys. Stellidium seeds also grow. Yeah, so I'm going to have more trigger plant than you can shake a stick at. My main goal with this was just to see that my Stellidium seeds were viable. So, well, they are. They're germinating like crazy in there. Yeah. Oh, and then my sundews. So yeah, these are the trays of sundews that have come in from the greenhouse. I don't like these guys sitting out all winter, especially the Aliceae. And what was this one? This one is the Tocansis, right? Yeah. So my Aliceae and the Tocansis, they get hit pretty hard in the wintertime, so I don't leave them out in the greenhouse. As you can see, as long as they are inside, let me zoom in here for you guys. You can see all the new growth. It's a little light green, so I don't have a lot of LED down on this bottom level. Flowering, of course, I'm going to have to get rid of those flowers. If you don't cut those flowers off, you're going to have this everywhere. Same with the Aliceae here. Yeah, there's 69 degrees. I monitor this lower level because this is directly on the floor in the corner of my house, right by the front door, so it gets real cold down here, which is good. Slows these guys down a little bit. This was one plant. Now it's a billion in there. This was one plant from California Carnivores there, of course. I'm a huge supporter of California Carnivores. So that is all roots of the narrow leaf of the main plant that I pulled out of the middle. These are all of its offspring. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you guys when it comes to the Capensis. You don't have to worry about killing your Capensis. If you're killing your Capensis, you're definitely doing something wrong, because you just can't kill this stuff. Humic acid, I mean, that's probably the only thing that I have found that really adversely affects pretty much any of these plants, is if you get a lot of, I think it's called humic acid buildup, it does affect the roots, kind of like with my Sarracenia here. Believe it or not, there was 25 seeds here. I got one plant. I don't know if it was this was not pre-washed when I first put this together. So I'm assuming that when they first started to germinate, the acids in this just did not fare well for the roots. But this little guy here in the middle is growing, so I'll leave him. This is just your standard, oh, what is that called? Yeah, what's it called? The Sarracenia. Oh, sorry guys, I'm not good with names. I'd have to get back to you on that. Oh yeah, look, we got a little guy. Oh no. You know where all that's gonna go, right? I gotta rip him out of there. Yeah. Gamay. There you go, guys. Gamay. You want yourself a bunch of carnivorous plants. Your pygmies will produce gamay like there's no tomorrow. So yeah. So there's my sundews. So that's my indoor carnivorous plants for you guys. If you got any comments, please leave them down below. I always like to hear from you guys. And of course, thank you for watching. And stay tuned. I will clue you guys in on my little mini greenhouse that I'm building for these guys. I know these will get bigger. Trust me, I know how big these will get. But in the meantime, I'm setting up a little tent for these guys. So stay tuned. We'll see you on the next one.